Role is within the carbon team?
And one of the 4 people that are on the carbon scenarios. I think that's one of our best features of the group.
Hey guys, Nicole.perrone here, $1 billion banker. Thanks for joining. Hey, did you know that last year...
To our origination staff, to our new originators that join us.
Well, welcome to the show, LLewellyn. We're so excited to have you today to learn more about you and your business. So without further ado, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your history in the mortgage business?
Yeah, absolutely. My name is LLewellyn Tejada. I'm a loan officer with CrossCountry Mortgage. Born and raised in the Bronx. Always been fascinated by real estate and growth and numbers and such. And I got into right when I graduated college. I started as a banker at Bank of America, and then from there I was trying to figure out, okay, which direction am I going to go? Am I going to go business banking? Am I going to go mortgage, investments? Because I got to see a little bit of those three. And then, I got offered to go to Wells Fargo to start as a junior. That was in 2016. And then within a couple of months, they liked what I was doing. And then I became my own loan officer.
Nice.
And then from there, 2016, Wells Fargo, I was there up until 2021. And then from then, I kind of decided that I wouldn't want to work for a big bank again. It was just, I feel a lot of scrutiny or maybe not enough programs to help everybody. There was just year after year, I was making a list and it's like, wow, this is a lot of people I couldn't help because I didn't have the product for them, or we had overlays for them, or there was just a lot of hurdles I've come across trying to help a lot of clients. And then, banks like Wells Fargo didn't have much of a great reputation in the real estate community when it comes to working with realtors. A lot of realtors didn't have the nicest things to say. So I thought, well, let me look for somewhere that has, more programs, more to offer clients and some speed too. So in 2021, I joined a team with Scott Bonora and Rafael Reyes. And from there, we joined CrossCountry and joined the bigger group of part of Carbon Team.
How long ago was that?
We've been there. That was in March of 22. So 2 months from 2 years. And it's been great. It's been a journey and it's been a fun ride.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. Obviously, my background's I started on the broker side for 3 years and then spent 12 and a half on the bank side. So, this is my first foray in the correspondent space. Unlike yourself, you were at Loan Depot, but excited to see how many people came over here together and really saw the opportunity at CrossCountry and on carbon specifically. So tell me a little bit about your business. Where does it come from? What are your clients like? Anything from, what programs are you leveraging the most? Would love to hear more about that.
So I would say somewhere around 90 to 95% of my business is, purchase business. And then from that pool, I would say 90% of it is first time home buyer. And the remainder would be investors. Guys looking to buy multifamilies, maybe do some non-QM stuff and things of that nature. And then the rest would be refis, but refis haven't been as popular as of lately. But we are getting a lot of inquiries for cash out. The country's in a debt crisis and everyone has tons of debt. So that has been a popular take as of lately, the cash out refi. But yes, 90% of my business is first time home buyer. And most of these first-time home buyers, they're looking for high LTV products like, 3% down conventional FHA. They're looking for down payment assistance programs and things of that nature. So when I first started in 2016, they had the Sony May program at Wells Fargo. They had a couple other down payment assistance programs. So I went all in on that. I pitched it everywhere I could at seminars, at realtor offices, presentations, continuing education classes, wherever I could, I would speak about that. So I kind of built my business on that. And then we did a bunch of Sony May at Wells Fargo. They put me on their website, on the Sony May website. So then I started getting a lot of leads from there. And then I was able to use those leads to kind of build relationships with a lot of realtors. I would give them leads and they would appreciate it and and reciprocate. And then it was a lot of past customers would also refer me their friends and family, like, wow, Llewellyn got me $10,000, $30,000, like free money. So it was an easy way to like build off of that. And then throughout the years, I realized how difficult these loans were. So then while I was at Wells Fargo, I kind of dabbled in the jumbo space too. And I'm like, oh, I think jumbo is a lot easier, bigger loan amounts, maybe some easier clients. And then I realized that space isn't as easy either because, maybe they own 5 businesses, or we're dealing with a new construction project, or,
Right.
condos, non-warrantable condos now, and things of that nature. But I would say, yeah, the majority of it was the high LTV stuff. And maybe 20% of it, we'll get some nice vanilla deals, at 80 LTV and some jumbo stuff.
Interesting.
But my main focus over there was really like the DApps and the high LTV stuff.
Right. So now, like if you were going into a real estate office today, what are some of the big products or the big, door openers that you present on when you go into a real estate office today?
Yeah, so I always do. I have like a nice little presentation that I do, and it's, I kind of put like a list of like the very hot programs, and I want to show them like something new. Like, every loan officer is going to talk about, your regular loan limits, the regular basic stuff everyone probably already knows. So yeah, I always start with these unique programs like the down payment assistance programs. Sony Main, they're now giving, 30,000, and their rate is super low at 5.875. So I'll talk about that. And, I'll tell them, hey, don't be discouraged. These income limits are very high, in Westchester County, they go to 205. In Long Island, they're in the 200s too. Like, it's not like a super low income program.
Right.
And then in the event that they do make more than that, maybe they make over 200, they're in 250, 300. We have our own down payment assistance program called the Community Promise, and it's not really based on their income at all. There's no income or price limits like Sony May, and it's really based on where they live. And, I show them the map, and they're like very surprised that there's even some areas on the east side on 96th Street. I had a guy made 300,000, lived on 96 on the west side. I'm sorry, and he qualified. Got him $7,000 assistance. The rate was really good, and we beat his employee pricing. He actually was a loan officer I started with back in 2016, and I beat out their employee pricing with that program.
Wow.
So I share like little stories like that, try to make it relatable. And then I jump into the stuff I do for a lot of investors, like the DSCR, the bank statement loans. Like you mentioned, for the Hispanic community, the tax ID loans. Some folks in the Hispanic community don't have a social security number.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't have a visa, and maybe all they got is like a tax ID. Or maybe they have a work permit, and there's a lot of big banks, big lenders that won't lend with just a work permit. They want to see at least a green card.
That's That's got to be a
So,
big one.
I'll
Does
touch
that
on things
surprise a
like
lot of
that.
your agents? The I-10 program. I mean, is that
Oh yeah.
something that?
Oh yeah, a lot of lenders they want to see that they have a permanent resident card.
Mhm.
So yeah, I do a lot of deals where they just have a work permit and a social.
Okay.
And then sometimes they don't have either, they just have a tax ID and they're like, wow, you can do this. And I'm like,
That's
yeah.
great.
So
I
it's
always felt like,
try to focus on those unique ones, like those niches, that those spaces that is not common. And maybe they'll give me a
sure,
shot with those, and if they have a good experience, hopefully I can earn their business and they can refer me maybe some vanilla deals,
on some of the other deals. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a great door opener, right? And unique products. Not everybody's going to market with. Not everybody has. The CCM Community Promise is really, that's a great story that you tell, because a lot of times telling the stories, it really helps it put it together for agents and for loan officers. So, obviously you what I'm hearing from you is you love having the full array of products to serve a community, whichever one that you're targeting, and obviously to help your partners too. If you were a loan officer in today's market thinking about making a move, maybe a loan officer like yourself, and you're in the market that you're in, what are some of the things that you would tell them about why cross country?
Yeah, so a lot of reasons, one of the main reasons I left like the big banking world was well, one of the main reasons for everyone is compensation, right? Like you get paid a lot more than you would at any bank, so you
Hmm.
probably don't have to work twice as hard to make the same amount of income. And then also the speed, I feel like it's more team oriented. They have the sense of urgency. They understand if, this file has to close in a certain amount, within 30 days or 40 days, whatever the time slot is.
Hmm.
Or if it's a new relationship, hey, I need to push on this one because I need to impress this realtor. It's our first deal. And, this is the realtor I've been churning for a while or so, um, and then the programs, it's so many. When I first got here, I would get headaches just trying to learn everything. But with time, I kind of figured out where I can park, each deal. And then the majority of it is I can do in-house. And that's really the beauty of it. When we were at Loan Depot, a lot of stuff we had to like broker out. And
Right.
here I can keep mostly all of my deals in-house. Like I don't really have to broker out at all. That was
Right.
really like a thing in last year in 22, with the rate environment and the margins and everything.
Hmm.
I had to do a couple broker deals to win some deals. But as of lately, the past 6 months, I haven't really had to broker out any deals. I've been keeping everything in house with the Community Promise program, with Sony May, with
Right.
our non-QM, in house, agency in house. I feel like we are very competitive, especially with pricing too. So
Hmm.
like all of those things, I feel, outweigh a lot. Well, what's out there
Yeah.
compared to like other lenders.
When you think about and that's great feedback, because sometimes you just don't know, like is especially, for me, I felt like kind of coming outside of a bubble, right, and seeing all these things that there are to offer, and especially for people that are also on the correspondent side of the business, kind of understanding the difference between one correspondent to the other. I think that is a really unique thing. Is we literally have a portfolio of products. We're securitizing a lot of our non QM stuff, right? With our signature expanded, and just the ability to be delegated on a lot of these deals as opposed to brokering them out makes a difference in the experience, the speed, the service, and so on. So when you think about the Hispanic community specifically, and you see everybody out there now talking about how we have to serve, I guess, the underserved communities, as they put it, right? The minority communities. How do you feel cross country excels in that space to help support the Hispanic community?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no overlays at all. A lot of other institutions or banks will say, "Hey, we're going to stop at at a 620 credit score, regardless of what agency or what FHA would allow. A lot of big banks won't even touch FHA. Where we don't have those overlays. We can go to what they allow, a 580 FICO or a 500 score. And, unfortunately, a lot of the Hispanic community is just uneducated on finance, on like real estate. So, we don't have those overlays that can be an obstacle for them sometimes. And then also allowing, understanding how they are legal here. Like, a lot of them will have only a work permit. They come to the US and they apply for a work permit, and a lot of big institutions, that's not sufficient for them. We want you to have a permanent residence identification. So, that will hinder a lot of people in the Hispanic community. They think like, oh, this is the policy, and it's just because they went to their bank, because that's where they keep their checking and savings, and then they just become discouraged and they don't try somewhere else.
I always thought it was interesting that, a bank will take their money, right? They can deposit their checks there, and the bank can go out and move it around and earn interest on it. But they won't lend them a loan. When I first started in the business, I was in North Plainfield, and I covered a bank out in that location, and a large majority of the clientele there, A, only spoke Spanish, but B, had those same challenges that you're speaking of. And one of the things I've been really surprised about is that so few lenders still have a Spanish application and disclosures. Can you tell us a little bit about that, and how, do you talk about that with some of your referral partners and clients? Do you feel like it really gives value to the Hispanic community, or, what are you seeing in that space? Because to me, I just think that's a game changer for them. And honestly, I feel like we're really behind the eight ball, that it just is coming out, in 2022, 2023. It's wild.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that is huge. I've been asking for the Spanish application since I started in 2016. And it was like, yeah, we're working on it. It just never came around. So when it finally came here, I was like, wow, this is amazing, because sometimes, I have to do the application for them over the phone, or they prefer to do it in person. And it's really user friendly. I haven't had one complaint about it. And my agents love it too. It's like, all right, you can do it whenever you like. You want to do it at 10 o'clock at night, when you have that downtime, or during the weekends, it's available to you. You can save it and go back to it, instead of trying to block out like 20-30 minutes to like do it over the phone, or, having them come into the office to do it in person. It's a great win. And that was but the one thing I was really worried about was like, oh, are they going to be able to go through it with the application? They're usually not technically savvy if they can't fill out an English application. But I've had a good amount of Spanish applications, and I haven't had one complaint about it yet.
That's great.
So that's been huge. And also like the high LTV programs too. I feel like, how we could do 3% down, some no MI programs, where a lot of lenders, they're going to want 5% down with conventional, or maybe they won't do FHA, or maybe they'll have an overlay with FHA where they want them to have at least a 620.
Right.
That can really open a lot of doors for the Hispanic community.
Yeah, I mean, it's our country's like second biggest language, right? So, and when you think about everybody having a similar experience, for the Hispanic community to be able to leverage the technology and complete an application, on their time and with speed and efficiency, and read the disclosures in their language. I mean, it's just, to me, it makes sense, right? When you think about your business going forward, and you think about the market that we're in, what are some big things that, when you think about 2024, that you're doing differently in your business? And, specifically, what are you tapping into here at CrossCountry to use in order to create that difference as you move forward?
Yeah, absolutely. Just, trying to get in front of more people. Right now, since it's January, we're reaching out to all of my close customers from last year. I'm downloading the CD, sending it to them, asking for introductions to their CPA right now to get in front of them, and hopefully, it can land me a deal. And it's another way for me to get in front of my past customers and ask for a referral. I'll give them a call to check on them, how they're doing, how's the
Sure.
house. So that's a good way to get in touch with some past customers. And the community promise program is fairly new, so I'm pushing that out also to realtors, sending out an email blast. Since it's the new year, I know they're having their sales meetings, kind of getting everyone ready for the year. I feel like January, a lot of that was going on with all institutions,
Right.
for lenders and real estate offices. So I've been reaching out to all of my referral partners and educating them about this new program and some more grant programs. So Community Promise is new, so I've been pushing that out.
Sure.
And also Sony May's new Lender is Due program, where now they increase their assistance from 15,000 to 30,000, and then their rate is a
Huge.
lot lower. There's no hit for them taking the assistance, so they can get as low as 5.8.
Oh, right.
So
It used to
I've
be
been
higher rate if you took the assistance, right? Oh, it's not. So that's not the case anymore.
Not with this new program, no. And
Wow.
it's specific to the minority community. As long as they're willing to put on the application that they are a minority, either they're Hispanic or African American or whatever, Asian, whatever it is. As long as they put that on the application, they can be eligible for this program. So I've just been pushing that out
That's huge.
to all my referral partners and asking them to, hey, let me be in your next sales meeting and just talk about these programs, because they're huge. They can make some deals happen.
That's key. How about from a marketing perspective? I've been preaching for a while now, like in a contracting market, it's so critical that the company that you work for is able to help you expand. And the way I feel CrossCountry helps us expand is products, which we've spoke a lot about, but also marketing. So what do you feel is like the cutting edge opportunities that you have for yourself or with your referral partners here at CrossCountry that you're leveraging in 2024?
Yeah, so I've been doing a lot more of email blasts. Before, I would just do whatever was automated. They would send out once a week, a weekly newsletter, but I feel like maybe that wasn't doing enough. So now I've been scheduling out an additional one to go out weekly with like programs. So like, last week I did Community Promise. The week prior I did Sony May. Another week I'll do some non-QM, and then
That's
kind of
good.
rotate them. And then, realtors send me email blasts too. So it's funny, I responded to one last night and I'm like, oh, we have this program too, and this and that. And they're like, oh, wow, I didn't even know that. Like, you send me, let me know when you have a new program. I'm like, I do. I'm sending out the email blast. Just like, I get so many of these blasts. Just let me know, like, just privately. And I'm like, okay,
Right.
I'm like, I'll do that too.
Yeah.
I'm like, I
Yeah.
didn't know they were, probably
Permission
getting
granted.
junked or getting ignored. So, I've been keeping on top of mind of that.
Are you doing anything
Um,
in the video or the social space that you haven't done in the past, or do you have any goals to do that as you move forward into 2024?
yes, I definitely want to do more video. So that's why I agreed to do this interview. So,
This could be your
get me in
first
front of the
one.
camera and, talk a little bit and get me out of my comfort zone and, you
hmm
know, get a little uncomfortable. I feel like being
Yeah,
uncomfortable is big part of growth. So that's one thing too. I want to do some more videos. I plan to do some videos, at least for the milestones, just to get my feet wet,
that's great.
to, send that out to them whenever they got the pre-approval, to go over the LE, the CD,
hmm
the commitment, closing. I just want to pile up a bunch of videos and get my feet wet there.
That's great. Well, if
Once
I
I
can
feel
help
like
you
I
at all
got,
with that, I'm happy to show you some of the things that I've been looking at for like 6 months before I got the courage to get on, you know, first it was like, okay, the camera's here, and then it was like, okay, the mic is like all the way over there, and then I was like, we'll do a couple videos myself and save them on my phone before I decide to actually put them out. But it's like it's the cold call of 2024. It's walking through the real estate office, right, of 2024. It's picking up the phone. And video is very different. As comfortable as you may be in front of people or speaking, it's video. You put it out there and you don't really get the feedback, right? Like right now it's just us. Once we put it out, we'll see how everyone feels about it. But I think at the end of the day, that's how people want to hear from you. They don't want to really read. You know, you try to learn something today, you're watching a video. So I think that's a
Right.
really powerful, because when you think about creating a brand and not being a commodity, that's a big part of it, right? To instead of just sending a one-line message to your customer, hey, you're pre-approved, it's a video from you. It's congratulating them, it's explaining the next steps, and there's a journey set up where you get it all along the way. So coming from a background where we didn't have that, I really feel like that's a big thing to help you differentiate yourself and your business and your brand in 2024. We're here. we gotta
Yeah.
we gotta embrace it.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly that. I want to be more personable. I usually do the phone call. I've been doing a lot of like Zoom meetings. So like for that initial consultation, just to be like more personable. I feel like after COVID, everyone is just like
Mhm.
home and text and this. And I'm like, all right, what else can I do besides just having that phone conversation? So I'll have a lot of like, Zoom
That's
consultations.
great.
And if I can add these videos to the milestone, that'll add a little bit of a personal touch,
That's great.
and
No,
maybe hopefully get some more referrals. I like this guy, so I would like to refer him.
yeah, well, you seem extremely likable and very successful, obviously, so far. Justin had the greatest things to say. It's like, you got to interview him. He's the one to go to. So, if you're an agent and you're out there and you're looking for someone to partner with, someone that could serve your community with the programs that, quite frankly, a lot of people might shy away from, he's your expert. He's somebody that you could reach out to. And I'm so happy that you joined us today. For this interview, and I look forward to, hopefully a lot of loan officers out there saw this today, and if they have any questions, certainly can reach out to either one of us to get insight. So thank you.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us for Conversations with Cross Country. I'm your host, Nicole Perrone. We look forward to seeing you again soon. Please like and subscribe below.